Okay, let's just jump right in. We usually think of evolution as this, slow and steady climb, a gradual fine-tuning of what's already there. But what if the biggest leaps we ever made came from something totally alien? Something we normally think of as an enemy. Today, we're going to dig into this wild idea that a viral infection didn't just tweak our DNA. It might be the very thing that made our humanity possible in the first place.
Now this might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's literally written into our genetic code. A full 8% of the human genome, well, it isn't originally human at all. It's the fossilized DNA of ancient viruses that infected our ancestors millions of years ago. We are, quite literally, part virus.
So, it makes you wonder, right? We spend all this time and energy fighting off viruses, but what if one of them is the actual reason we're sitting here today, capable of things like love and art and complex thought? What if what looked like a hostile takeover was actually the ultimate evolutionary upgrade?
To really get how this could even be possible, we have to look at the deep story of biology. And what it shows us time and again is that the biggest breakthroughs don't come from building higher walls. They come from integrating the unexpected, the foreign, the other.
So meet the hero of our story, a protein called syncytin. This stuff is absolutely essential for making a placenta, the organ that lets mammals like us carry our babies inside our bodies. But here's the crazy part. Syncytin wasn't our idea. It's a piece of viral code that our bodies hijacked and repurposed.
To really appreciate this, you have to understand the huge problem that syncytin solved. See, before the placenta, mammals had a major biological issue. A fetus gets half its DNA from the father, which means to the mother's immune system it looks like a foreign invader, like a parasite or an organ transplant that doesn't match. So the big question was, how do you stop the body from rejecting its own baby?
And incredibly, the virus had the answer. Syncytin's original job for the virus was to fuse cells together so the infection could spread more easily. But inside our ancestors, that same function was put to a new use. It creates this amazing barrier of fused cells that keeps the mother's and baby's blood separate. And even cooler, it actually suppresses the mother's immune response right there at the barrier, creating a kind of demilitarized zone where the baby can grow safe and sound.
There's a name for this process. It's called exaptation. And it is so important to get this. It wasn't planned. Our ancestors didn't somehow tame the virus. It was a complete and total fluke, a disruptive accident. A piece of programming designed for invasion just happened to be the perfect tool for protection. And that one accident changed absolutely everything.
Because that one biological accident had massive social consequences. It let us shift from what biologists call strategy R, think lizards laying hundreds of eggs and just hoping for the best, to strategy K. With the placenta, a whole new way of life opened up. Have fewer kids, but pour a ton of investment into them. Carrying a baby internally forges this incredibly powerful bond, and that bond makes things like family, empathy, and years of teaching and learning not just possible, but the whole point. The placenta isn't just a biological organ, it's the hardware that culture runs on. Okay, so our biology learned this incredibly powerful lesson. Bringing the alien inside leads to amazing new abilities. But then, if you look at our societies, we seem to be running in the exact opposite direction. It's like we've built a social immune system that's stuck in overdrive, attacking anything and everything that looks foreign.
In biology, endogamy or inbreeding is a disaster. It weakens the gene pool. Well, the social version of that is what we could call intellectual endogamy. It's this obsession with keeping an ideology or a culture pure by rejecting all outside information. It's this core belief that our current code is perfect and any update is a threat.
And you see this everywhere, right? Extreme nationalism that's terrified of immigrants. Doctrines of racial purity that just ignore our shared human story. Religious fundamentalisms that call every other belief a lie. Political dogmas where neither side is even willing to listen to the other. All of these are systems designed to create a sterile bubble, to stop any viral, new ideas from getting in and changing the code.
What you end up with is a kind of social autoimmune disease. Just like when an immune system goes haywire and attacks the body's own healthy cells, these societies end up attacking the very things that could trigger their next big leap forward. New people, new ideas, new ways of looking at the world. That fear of the other isn't a healthy defense mechanism. It's a bug in the system.
But individuals can break out of the programming. This quote from Muhammad Ali is just a perfect, powerful example of someone consciously debugging their own mind. He was being told by the state that those people over there were the enemy, but he rejected that dogma
because he realized his actual struggle, his actual other, was right at home. He saw that the enemy he was supposed to fight had been manufactured for him.
So this brings us to the final, deepest layer. If our biology evolved by integrating a virus, and our societies get stuck by rejecting new ideas, then what's the next step for us? It looks like the next frontier for this kind of disruptive evolution isn't in our genes or even our groups. It's in our consciousness.
So what would that even look like? Well, nature actually gives us a working model, the mycelial network of fungi. And this isn't just a nice metaphor, it's a real, functional system. The vast network of fungi in a forest floor operates without a central command. It moves nutrients to where they're needed, it sends warning signals about threats, and it manages resources for the entire ecosystem. It's a distributed, non-hierarchical, collective intelligence. It's intelligence without a boss.
To operate like that, we'd need a different kind of internal software. Let's give it a name, metaphrenia. Now, this isn't about psychosis or a losing touch with reality. It's the opposite. It's a state of hyperconnectivity, the ability to see the deep underlying patterns that connect things that seem totally separate. It's the direct perception that the tree, the soil, and the fungus aren't three different things, but one interconnected system expressing itself in different ways.
So how do you stay in that open, connected state? The key is a practice we could call ignororexia. You can think of it as the ultimate antidote to dogma. It's the conscious, active choice to remember that what you know is always, always incomplete. It's a structural openness to new data. It's the humility that stops you from ever thinking you have the final answer, which is what keeps your system from closing down.
And honestly, here is the most radical idea of all. This state of interconnectedness, this metaphrenia, isn't some far-off goal we need to achieve. It's our factory setting. It's something we have to remember. A newborn baby doesn't see a hard line between me and the world. That feeling of separation is a program, a super useful one for navigating the world, for sure, but it's still a program that our language and culture install as we grow up. We are all born in a non-dual, illuminated state. The dogma is the program of disconnection we learn later.
So let's bring this all together. What does this all mean for us, right here, right now? Well, it looks like we're standing at a crossroads, facing a choice that looks a lot like the one our ancestors faced, completely by accident, millions of years ago.
So let's just quickly recap the pattern we've been tracing. First, there was an accidental integration. A foreign virus became a permanent part of our biology. That led to a massive, disruptive leap, the placenta, which created the possibility of family, society, and everything that followed. And now we're facing that exact same pattern, but this time as a conscious choice. Can we willingly integrate foreign ideas and ways of being to make our next great leap?
The lesson, written deep inside our own cells, is this. Real progress isn't about purification. It's not about building walls to protect some fragile idea of who we are. The truly game-changing moments in evolution happen when we have the courage to integrate the alien, the unknown, the other. I mean, our own bodies are the living proof that working together is more powerful than trying to stay pure. The blueprint for our next evolution isn't something we have to invent. It's already inside us, coded into that ancient viral DNA that made us human in the first place. The biological accident already happened. The only question left is, are we conscious enough to learn its lesson and repeat it on purpose?